This is the Bushnell Wingman HD, and it is the latest version of their golf Bluetooth speaker. But the question is it the best? How does it compare to previous Wingman models, and how does it compare to my all-time favorite golf Bluetooth speaker, the Bluetooth Player Plus? We're going to answer all of those questions today and help you figure out if this is a product you should buy. Let's go. So about 5 years ago, Bushnell invented an entirely new golf product category, the golf Bluetooth speaker. Essentially what that is a Bluetooth speaker that plays music. It's got a magnet so you can stick it to a golf cart, and in one way, shape, or form, it will give you GPS yardages on the course that you are playing. This was the original Wingman. They then made a few minor changes with the Wingman 2. They then added a screen with the Wingman View, and now they added a better screen with the Wingman HD. So let's talk about first impressions, getting this thing out of the box, and what my experience has been like so far. All right, first impressions of the Bushnell Wingman HD. This is the biggest Bluetooth speaker that Bushnell has provided. It's probably like 20% bigger than the original, and I don't know, maybe 15% bigger than the old Wingman View. You got play and volume buttons across the top. You have a power button right here, and then you have a touch screen right here as well. And when this is on, you'll see some buttons for skipping through holes and going back that show up right here. This very much keeps with the Bushnell aesthetic, black and orange. I think it looks really good. I like the fact that they adjusted the design. This triangle shape of the old View speaker, when you had this up on a cart, the angle of the screen just didn't really work great. I didn't like the way that that sat. So now they changed it, so you've got their Bushnell bite magnet right on the back, flat screen on the front, you put it right there, it sits right in front of you, looks great. This new device, the HD, feels quite a bit heavier than the previous models, but this magnet is super strong, so I don't think you're going to have any issues at all with it falling off the cart. But one feature that I'm really glad they included, just to give us the option, is this right here. Just a little hook where you can attach a cord or a carabiner, and if you wanted to attach it to the outside of your golf bag, if you were carrying, you can do that. They did that on the original Wingman, and then for the 2 and the View, they got rid of it. There was no way to easily attach this to your golf bag. So I'm glad that they added this back, but the reality is because this is so big and so heavy, most people aren't going to be doing it. So I'm glad that they gave us the option, especially if you're someone who isn't always riding in a cart. But generally speaking, if you're someone who walks and is looking for a speaker, I would go with something else. You could get the Bushnell Wingman Mini, but really what I would get is a JBL clip. You can get like the 3, 4, or 5. I'm not sure what version on, but you can get it for around 50 bucks. It's super lightweight. It sounds good. It's not going to have any of the golf features. It won't give you any GPS yardages, but if you're just looking for music while you're walking the golf course, that is what I would recommend. Next question, how does it sound? Considering it is the biggest of all the Bushnell Wingman devices, you would expect it to be the loudest and sound the best, which it does. This is the first time we've got visible subwoofers on both the top and the bottom. This thing is going to get plenty loud for pretty much anything you would want to do on the golf course. So I don't think sound quality is a big concern here. I think you're going to be happy with the way it sounds, regardless of whether or not you were using it on a golf course or if you take it with you on vacation and you're rocking it out on a back patio. Sounds good and gets plenty loud. But now let's talk about the biggest change and the most important aspect of this, and that is the screen and the GPS. So in order to use this as a proper golf GPS speaker, you will need to have the companion Bushnell app. You will create an account, you will add your device, you pair it via Bluetooth, and that whole process is pretty seamless. From downloading the app, logging into my account, putting it in pairing mode, and getting going, it took me less than 2 minutes, and overall, I was really pleased with how that worked. Now, the screen itself looks awesome. This is definitely the best screen of any golf Bluetooth speaker that I have used, or at least in terms of visuals and how it looks. Overall, it does a really good job of showing you both your music and your golf and making it really easy to toggle in between the two of them. When you're golfing, there are 3 primary screens that you can swipe through. The first one is your basic GPS yardages and hole map. On the right-hand side, it will give you an aerial overview of the hole, and it will give you distances to the front, center, and back of the green. You swipe to the next page, and it'll show you an aerial overview of the green itself, and if you swipe one more time, it will give you GPS yardages to all of the hazards on the hole. Now, while overall the screen looks really good, it's bright, it's crisp, it's colorful, my experience with it has been a little bit of a mixed bag. So while on the surface, having an aerial overview of the hole is really nice, in reality, having that whole overview, it's like you gotta kind of get up like this to look at it, and you can't really see all that much in terms of detail, so I just haven't found that to be all that useful. It's like, I thought I was really going to like that feature. I thought it was going to be a big upgrade over the Bluetooth speaker, but I just haven't found that to be all that useful. Those GPS green yardages look good, big, bold, easy to see, so I do like that portion of it. You swipe the page with the green overview, also don't find it to be all that helpful. It'll show the pin kind of right in the middle of the green, and it'll give you the general green shape, which I guess is nice, but I just haven't found that screen to really provide much useful information. The third screen, however, with all of those hazards, I think looks really, really good. I really like the way this is laid out. It's easy to scroll through and get a sense of what all those hazard distances are, and I really do think that having that screen is one of the most useful features of this entire device. Speaking of those hazard distances, that is definitely one area where this speaker has a leg up over the Bluetooth, because in order to get all the hazard yardages on the Bluetooth device, you have to have a Bluetooth subscription. Now, in the world of subscriptions, it's not the worst in the world. It's like $99 for 3 years. So in the grand scheme of things, that's not that big of a deal, especially if you have other Bluetooth devices you're using. But without the subscription on the Bluetooth, you can only get yardages to the front, center, and back of the green. You cannot get those yardages to hazards on the speaker. So the fact that this has that feature, displays it well, is genuinely useful, and you don't need a subscription to use it, I think that's a big plus for the Wingman HD. So as I mentioned earlier, to get all this GPS data, you do have to have the app going. Some people will start the app and completely forget about it and not do anything else. Others will be more active. So if you want to see your score on the speaker, you will have to keep score within the app. Generally speaking, the app makes it pretty easy to put those scores in, but I'm not gonna lie, with so many good ecosystems out there for keeping score and getting data, I don't know that Bushnell is necessarily my favorite. Once you put your scores into the app, if you would like to drill down and get more data about your scores, you can click the top of the screen and it will bring up that data. The problem is it does it kind of slow. It kind of like fades in and fades back out, and so it just feels like it takes a little bit longer to bring up that information than it really should. I found it to be fairly laggy at times, and at other times it's downright been non-responsive. At times I've been trying to like click through to go to the next hole, it just hasn't done it. Or sometimes I've had to hit it like 7 or 8 times to get it to the next hole. It's happened often enough during my 2 rounds with this device where it's caused some genuine annoyance and actually really kind of bothered me. It definitely interfered with my round more than I wanted it to. The good news is I imagine this is something that can be fixed with firmware, so hopefully we see an update for it soon. The second issue I've had, which honestly has been just as annoying and just as frustrating, is the connectivity. So I don't know if it's just the power of the Bluetooth module in this, but if I leave the cart with my phone for any distance at all, like literally the cart would be on the cart path next to the tee box, I would walk maybe 15, 20 feet to the tee box, and it would lose connection to the golf features only going that far. All right, come back to the cart, and we just have music, no golf. Bummer. It's kind of weird because it seems like there's like 2 different things going on. You have the golf features and the GPS features, and you have the Bluetooth music features. And so for whatever reason, when it comes to music, you could go a lot further away. I could go out into the opposite side of the fairway and come back, and it would retain that connection with music. Music would keep playing, all of the music stuff would still be here. But from a golf perspective, I would walk like 20 feet away and it would lose its connection, and the only way I could go get that connection back was to then go to my phone and open up the app again. Every time you did this, it would then make a noise of a ball kind of clattering into a hole, which I found myself getting more and more annoyed by, considering this was happening on almost every hole. Now, to be clear, you could solve all of these issues just by keeping your phone in the cart. But for me, I was using Arccos on my phone. It was cart path only. It's been pretty rainy around here lately. So I wanted to get all my Arccos statistics. So I would keep my phone in my pocket. I would walk out. I would hit my shot. And then almost every time when I would come back, it will have lost that golf connection. Really annoying, really frustrating, and I have not had that experience with the Bluetooth speaker. The connectivity on that seems to be better and seems to work a lot further away. Yes, with any of these, if you go too far away, it will lose its connection, but it definitely happened more frequently with this than it has with other speakers. So unfortunately, between the screen that was a little bit laggy and some of these connectivity issues, I found myself just getting a little bit frustrated with this device. Which is too bad because it's got some really cool features. The screen looks great. It sounds excellent. And if you have a Foresight or Bushnell launch monitor, this is link enabled as well. So it will be able to give you club recommendations based on your actual club data. So the fact that Bushnell and Foresight are building this ecosystem out, if you've got the Pro X3 rangefinder, if you've got this, if you've got one of those launch monitors, that ecosystem is really starting to get pretty impressive. So looking at all this, would I buy the Bushnell Wingman HD? Maybe. If you're in the Bushnell Foresight ecosystem, you have the launch monitor, you have the Pro X3 Link rangefinder, then 100%. This is the device to get because having all of that definitely enhances the feature set of this. If you're just looking to buy a golf Bluetooth speaker, you want some basic yardages, something that sounds good and isn't going to be a total pain to use, I probably would still go towards the Bluetooth Player Plus. It does have that subscription if you want all the features. That's like the one kind of sticking point for me. That's the one thing that would kind of point me back towards this. But I don't pay for that subscription. When I'm using it, I use it for music. I get the yardages to the green, and that's really all I need, and it works great for that. You throw in the fact that there are coupon codes that you can get it for a little bit less money than this, and I think that just makes for a really compelling product. On the surface, this screen looks better, but like I said, it's a little laggy, and having the maps on there, I haven't found to be as useful as I maybe expected it to be. So I feel like this thing is just a little rough around the edges, and I would love to see it in 3 to 6 months, see if there's some firmware updates that help make it a little bit more stable, help make it to work a little bit better. But after playing 2 rounds with it, for all the things I like about it and all the things it does well, those handful of annoyances are probably still going to have me going for the Bluetooth if I were making my own personal buying decision. So I'd love to see some firmware updates. We'll revisit it, but as it sits right now, I would probably lean towards a different model. With that, my name's Sean Ogle. I'm the founder of this thing here at Breaking 80, where we talk about cool golf products and cool golf courses. If you'd like to see more of my golf speaker reviews, I will link to a bunch of them below, including the Bluetooth Player Plus that we have talked about. I hope you got some value out of this. Maybe consider dropping a comment, give this video a thumbs up, or subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you on the next video. Peace.